Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's jump right in. Today we're diving into a genuinely fascinating, almost Wild West intersection of emerging technology and the law. We're going to explore how artificial intelligence is completely upending the way we think about brands, creativity, and ownership.
So, here's the core problem we're facing right now. Algorithms are increasingly interacting with some of the most meticulously crafted and valuable assets on Earth. We have fully entered an era where text-to-image generators and language models are accessible to literally everyone. And, they're trained on vast oceans of our existing cultural data, which, of course, heavily includes corporate trademarks.
To put that value into perspective, just look at Google's brand. It's valued at a staggering $44.3 billion. Trademarks aren't just pretty pictures, right? They are highly concentrated signals of reputation, product quality, and corporate goodwill. Because of that, the stakes for protecting them have absolutely never been higher.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, the AI branding boom. Second, consumer confusion and chaos. Third, the trademark legal arsenal. Fourth, dilution or protecting the vibe. And finally, number 5, who actually takes the blame?
Let's start with Section 1, the AI branding boom. Now, AI gets a bad rap sometimes, but it isn't inherently the enemy of intellectual property. Actually, scratch that. It's completely revolutionizing how we interact with IP on a daily basis. Neural networks and machine learning are basically stepping in to act as both automated creators and hyper-efficient digital trademark cops. Think about what these incredibly capable tools can do. AI completely lowers the cost of creation. Small businesses can now spin up cohesive brand identities in seconds using platforms like Luca or Copy.ai. But on the flip side, large corporations are using AI monitoring tools like Core Search to automatically flag counterfeit products across thousands of e-commerce sites like Amazon and eBay. They're protecting their IP at a massive scale that humans simply could never manage manually. But what happens when this powerful tool becomes the villain? That brings us to Section 2, consumer confusion and chaos. Because algorithms optimize for visual similarity without actually understanding the legal nuance of a likelihood of confusion, they can accidentally spit out counterfeit designs or deceptively similar slogans. Think about it. If an AI is trained on thousands of existing logos, its quote-unquote new creation might just be a slight variation of an established brand, which totally blurs the lines of brand identity in the marketplace. Take the recent Target controversy as a perfect real-world case study. Completely without consent, AI-generated images portraying a goat-headed mannequin and a Target-like bullseye sparked a massive online backlash. These images were shared heavily on social media by users protesting Target's real-life merchandise. The AI images were weaponized to amplify the outrage by falsely depicting satanic themes in the store. Regardless of where you stand on the cultural debate, this objectively demonstrates the sheer reputational damage a brand can suffer when its trademark is hijacked by an algorithm. Target was caught right in the middle of a flashpoint, their famous logo leveraged by AI to create hyper-realistic yet entirely fabricated scenes that stoked public anger and directly impacted how the public perceived their brand. So how do companies fight back? Let's dive into Section 3, the trademark legal arsenal. Normally, proving trademark infringement relies heavily on a multi-factor test to show consumers are actually being misled. To win an infringement case, a brand has to prove that the AI-generated image is actively confusing consumers into thinking the brand itself actually created, sponsored, or authorized the fake product. Let's break the difference down like this. If Disney's Mickey Mouse was used on an unauthorized competing roller coaster, boom, that's trademark infringement. But what if the goods aren't competing, like in the Target hoax where no actual clothes were ever sold? In those cases, brands have to rely on a different concept called trademark dilution. Because there was no competing product in the marketplace, traditional infringement simply wasn't triggered, and that represents a massive legal loophole.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, dilution, or as I like to call it, protecting the vibe.
So, there are two flavors of dilution. First up is dilution by blurring. This basically protects against others free riding off a brand's promotional value, slowly eroding its unique identity over time. Imagine if AI just kept generating images of the Nike swoosh on everything from lawnmowers to spatulas. Over time, that swoosh loses its unique connection to athletic wear. That is the essence of dilution by blurring. Then we have dilution by tarnishment. This focuses entirely on negative associations that damage a brand's carefully cultivated image. A really great historical example of this, pre-AI of course, is when Victoria's Secret sued a small novelty shop called Victor's Little Secret.
They successfully argued that the adult-themed shop tarnished their famous, carefully curated brand identity.
And this is exactly why tarnishment fits the Target hoax so well. Using this framework, Target wouldn't need to prove they lost sales to a competitor. They only need to prove that the AI-generated hoax harmed their hard-earned corporate reputation. Tarnishment is perhaps the absolute strongest legal strategy for large companies facing AI deepfakes that use their logos in disparaging or controversial ways, because it protects the brand's reputation regardless of whether actual products are being sold.
But taking legal action brings up an entirely new set of problems. Section 5, who takes the blame?
If a robot hallucinates your logo or independently generates infringing content, who exactly do you sue for the damages? Is it the individual user who typed in the text prompt? Or is it the giant tech company that built and trained the AI model using billions of scraped images? The reality is, our legal system simply isn't built for non-human infringement. It fundamentally assumes a human creator, meaning the courts are facing a massive challenge in assigning accountability. We are already seeing this play out in real time. Getty Images recently sued Stability AI, in part because the AI was generating images that literally still had Getty's watermark warped and baked right into the pixels.
This quote really hits the nail on the head. This unresolved accountability dilemma is the ultimate double-edged sword of the generative AI revolution. You see, trademark law was explicitly designed to regulate human commerce, to prevent a human competitor from tricking a human consumer. It was never designed to navigate a landscape where a massive language model can autonomously synthesize a counterfeit brand in 3 seconds flat.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to ponder as technology continues to outpace the law. As AI becomes even further integrated into our daily lives, our legal frameworks are either going to have to adapt at lightning speed or risk leaving our most valuable cultural and corporate symbols completely unprotected. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.